This video, the first in my series about ports, harbours and anchorages in the southern Ionian, is about mainland Astakos. We use the Imray charts for our southern Ionian sailing. They're accurate, clear, detailed and up to date, and the colour scheme makes sense too. We also use Rod and Lucinda Heikell's Ionian Guide. It's our Bible, not only when we're sailing, but also to lift our spirits during the dark winter's nights by planning our next season's cruising itinerary. Astakos is one of our favourite harbours in the southern Ionian. It's on the mainland, so prices are lower, surprisingly lower. We like to go there as a contrast to chic and manicured Chione, which is on the east coast of the island of Ithaca. Watch out for that, I'll be putting that video out sometime in the future. After a few days in Chione, by which time our wallets are pretty much emptied, we hunger for a relaxed, low-cost, authentic Greek harbour, Astakos. So it's an early start in Chione with a fresh cheese pie from the bakers and a Freddo Espresso Pacchetto on the cockpit table that we cast off and say goodbye to Chione. We often talk about doing a lunch stop at Toko Island for a swim and snorkel, but by the time we've had our cheese pie and coffee, turned off the engine, tried to capture a zephyr of wind or two, time is running against us and the thought of a tranquil late lunch in Astakos in the sunshine has filled our minds. The passage from Atoko to Astakos is sometimes accompanied by dolphins, usually frequented by fishing boats, but always brightened by the many seabirds. There are a couple of shallow patches of water en route from Atoko that are worth being familiar with, so that you don't get a shock when the depth sounder suddenly drops. Astakos isn't a harbour where you can expect someone to help you dock by taking your lines. There are few visiting boats, and any passing locals are likely to be Greek tourists or awaiting ferry passengers rather than boaty types. This is the part of the quay where most visiting yachts tie up. As you can see, there are plenty of mooring rings, a few yellow bollards, and there's an electricity and water pylon just at the end. The frothy bit that you can see is where the wastewater discharges into the harbour and it's aerated. 4 of these points on here. One year we came and stayed here, and we anchored directly off one of these right by the electricity point here. Once we realised what it was, it made our stay a little bit less pleasant. Nevertheless, it's still a really nice place. Very low key, very sort of laid back. At the end there's a posh hotel, and there's a beach up there as well. So this is the upmarket end.
How beautiful it is out there.
Where the ferry comes in from the other islands. When the quay gets full, you can tie up immediately adjacent to the ferry ramp on the west side of the ferry ramp. Problems here though. There's a lack of mooring cleats and mooring rings, which creates difficulty. The edges of the harbour's broken away a little bit, as you can see here. There is electricity and water, which is very good. Boat. Right next to all the action. There are a few mooring cleats the other side of the ferry slip. You can see here. There are some underwater debris at the far end. From the cleats onwards, it looks fairly good. But it might be best to go bows to rather than stern to. So there are cleats here, laid into the concrete. I don't know whether this large boat stays here all the time. It looks like it's home position. And here's one of the massive bollards that the ferry secures to, and the ferry slip itself. Supermarkets, the top of this road here. So what, about 75 metres from the harbour. The local fishing boats come alongside on the quay and sell their fresh fish to them.
Look at this.
Massive one there. Beasts.
That was very long, I think.
It's a place the locals come to as well. You can see here's the sort of bits and pieces for the tourists to buy. In one of their little side streets leading off the main promenade down by the sea. There's a good baker's one street back. This was a greengrocer's we used to go to in previous years, but it looks like that's progress has taken its toll here. And there was a kebab shop here as well that seems to have closed, probably a result of the pandemic. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe and comment. If you have any additional information about Astakos, please leave it in the comments section below so that we can all benefit.